How to handle criticism and maintain self-belief. The little cook. In a certain town lived a little cook who loved to cook. When he was just a small child, he lived with his grandmother, who was an excellent cook. From his grandmother, he learned all sorts of secrets to making delicious dishes and remembered them for a long time. In his apartment, there was a window that faced the street, and sometimes the little cook would prepare dishes using his grandmother's recipes and treat passers-by to his creations. At the very beginning of his journey, when the little cook first became interested in cooking, he wanted to experiment with dishes and follow his own intuition rather than a recipe. One fine day, the little cook decided to make an unusual soup. He found a recipe for a regular soup and began to cook it. But as he was adding the necessary ingredients, he got different ideas on how to improve the soup and see if it would taste good by adding more grains and vegetables. He cooked the soup and sat down to taste it. The soup was very unusual, something his grandmother had never made. Because of the mix of ingredients, the little cook experienced a good but unusual taste, and he enjoyed it. He looked through all his cookbooks and saw that there was no such recipe anywhere. Then the little cook decided that he should treat passers-by and see if they would find his soup unusual. First, the little cook decided to offer the soup to a woman, but she refused to eat it because she wasn't hungry and saw the mix of grains in the soup. She told the little cook, "I won't try your soup because there's no such recipe, and nobody ever makes soup this way. But thank you for offering. Just remember, soups must be cooked by the recipe, strictly by the recipe." The woman left, and the little cook was upset. But he decided to offer his unusual soup to someone else. At that time, a hungry-looking man was walking by. The little cook offered him the soup, and the man ate it all. Wiping his mouth with a napkin, he said, "If I weren't hungry, I would never eat your soup, because nobody mixes grains like you do. Your soup was bad. Never make soups like this again." The man left, and the little cook was so upset that he cried from the hurt, because he had tried so hard, created something new in the recipe, but why did everyone dismiss and poorly rate his good soup? Then another hungry man walked by, attracted by the smell of the soup. He asked the little cook to feed him. The sad little cook cheered up a bit and served the soup to the second man. The man ate the soup with pleasure, but still wasn't full, so he told the little cook, "You know, your soup isn't filling at all, and I'm very hungry. I'm still not full. If you keep making such light soups, nothing good will come of it. The main thing isn't the unusual taste of the soup, but the desire to feed a person well, and you failed." The second man left without thanking the little cook, and the little cook burst into tears from sorrow because he had tried so hard and hoped, but everyone around kept saying that his creation was bad in different ways. While the little cook was crying bitterly, a kind elderly man looked through the window and asked him, "Why are you crying so bitterly, boy? I made an unusual and good soup and proudly offered it to other people, but they say the soup is bad, and it makes me sad and hurt. May I try your soup?" asked the kind elderly man. "I feel that your soup smells delicious." "Of course," the little cook said, a bit happier, and served the soup to the man. At the same time, the little cook anxiously waited for the elderly man to say that the soup was bad, but nothing like that happened. The kind elderly man enjoyed the soup and thanked the little cook warmly. Then the little cook was happy, and the man said to him, "Little magical cook, you have a great talent for creating new dishes based on old recipes, combining the incompatible, and enjoying the process of creation. So create your recipes only for those who understand them. And always believe in yourself, because deep down you know that your soup is unusual and good. And as you continue, you'll be able to make magnificent and unique dishes, And the people who understand your talent will always be full and delighted with the wonderful taste and aroma. They will also feel joy and emotional uplift from your creations. The little cook was happy to hear such words. He remembered them for a long time. Days, months, and years went by, and the little cook grew and learned to cook, created new recipes, and eventually became a magical cook who always came up with new, unusual recipes for delicious dishes. The cook knew that not everyone would like his dishes, so he never listened to those who said his recipes were strange. He created only for those who could truly appreciate his art. He amazed all the connoisseurs of his cuisine with his wonderful dishes, bringing delightful emotions to people with his creations. And what are your talents, dear listener? Your creations may not please everyone, but every attempt is a great gift, and there will always be people who will appreciate your talent. The end.